Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How are we doing, gentlemen? Today is Monday, the 30th. And I am here with you live, obviously, for the 52nd episode, I believe, of actually, is it 53rd? I think it's 5-3. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Of Live with the King. Obviously, it is a Monday. And that means what as far as lifting is concerned? Well, it's International Motherfucking Chest Day. So I lifted some chest today. Fuck, man, I am still wrecked. I am wrecked. I don't know what's going on. Actually, I do kind of know what's going on. My muscles are fucking tight right now. I need to go and get a massage. And unfortunately, there's no place that's open at this very moment. So I got to schedule with somebody else who's willing to fucking catch goddamn coronavirus. So I'm going to try to set that up after I get off of this today, get some kind of fucking body work done. Holy shit. I tried yesterday to go to acupuncture. I got an email from my acupuncture place a couple weeks ago saying, hey, we're going to be open during this whole thing. We feel that this is going to be a tremendous ward off or keep people safe and immune. Acupuncture, obviously. They don't believe it's as bad as we're seeing. They are listening and being obedient little drones like they were taught to do in elementary school, middle school, and high school, all through fucking college, doing exactly what the media and the government do their entire lives. Be fearful, be fearful, little. When the bell dings, do what you're told. That you're able to be able to move on, and you won't be held back, and you won't look like a fucking loser. You won't look like an outsider or an outcast. Don't worry, we have you protected. Don't you worry, my young little sheeps, my little sheepies. Don't you worry. We got you covered. We'll get you covered with all this, with all these fucking CCTVs. We got you covered with our media. We got you covered with everything, with our scientists. Haven't you heard? Haven't you seen our scientists out? All of our scientists are telling you guys the truth, aren't they? They're telling you how bad this stuff is. Meanwhile, they're projecting a maximum amount of deaths in the US from this virus at 200,000 people. 2018 winter, 80,000 deaths related to the flu. It was the highest ever recorded in the US, I believe, or did it say 80,000 deaths? So that's really what it comes down to. 200,000 people out of 330 million. And we are on fucking lockdown. Oh, but Corey, if we weren't on lockdown, it would be way higher than that. Okay. All right. Guess what? Life is not fucking guaranteed. The government isn't here to preserve your life. The only thing the government is here to do is to have some basic essentials to keep things kind of flowing and to protect your goddamn rights and liberties. And the worst part about this right now is you fucking idiots out there, you fucking liberals, even the goddamn tradcons themselves, are so obsessed with jerking off to the police and the military and think an entity for good. You guys sit there and fucking jerk off to all this stuff. Oh, they're here to protect us. Those are our patriots. Those are our saviors. Those are what. Shut the fuck up. People forgot about goddamn freedom. With freedom comes a risk. This is what we're going to talk about a lot today when it comes to the fucking archetype and the characteristics and cultivating the warrior. Not like you got to go in the goddamn abyss. You got to go into fucking darkness every once in a while, and you don't know if you're going to come out. You got to walk into the cave. You don't know if Sabretooth is in there. You don't know if there's a fucking goddamn demon that's going to rape your goddamn soul. You don't know if you're just going to fall down a goddamn black hole or something and just break your legs. Who knows? Who fucking knows? But everyone wants goddamn certainty that they give their fucking liberties and their ability to be free, sovereign individuals and make their own fucking choices in order to give it over to Big Brother that they feel this nice little pat on the back. But little do they know that this motherfucker, Big Brother, once you give him that authority, guess what he's going to do? He's going to run with it. He's going to run with it. Take all your shit away from you. Why? Because you have chosen to give up your autonomy. That's what all these fucking people are doing right now. Oh, it's so scary. You're scared of a little fucking cough and maybe a little respiratory infection? That's a fucking flu. Who cares? Oh, man. I get it. Corey, it's serious. It's not fucking serious, people. You're being fucking misled. Straight up. You're being fucking misled. It's no more dangerous than anything that we as a species have fucking come up against in our evolution. This is what I always revert back to. We've been through worse. We've been through way fucking harder times. This is just a symptom of a decadent, lazy, just disgusting fucking society on it. Like it, they are so all about just stealing your fucking rights away from you in order for them to feel a bit more safe. And then they'll sit there and they'll fucking cry about someone being tyrannical. It's funny. I actually just posted something up on my Twitter. If you guys aren't following me on Twitter, it's a God Amongst Men 2 on Twitter. Just to let you guys know, this is completely fucking way off topic, but I'll wrap it back around. I'll tie a nice, pretty little fucking pink bow on it so that everybody can feel all fucking happy-go-lucky that, yay, Corey can do some fucking mental jousting and shit. I don't know what the fuck. Who cares? Anyway, Twitter posted up a article that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have officially moved to LA, even though these fucking idiots weeks ago said, we will never move to the United States as long as Trump is president. And then guess what? Good old cuck Harry fucking packed up bags and went to LA in order to further fucking Meghan's non-existent career. It's just a means for fucking Meghan to hang around her fucking, what's it called, porn star ex-boyfriends and get dicked down by someone who's going to fucking give her the actual pipe. So this is what I post. This is what I post on my Twitter. I post this article, but of course, you know, I put a little, what's it called in the beginning of it? It says, Meghan has done a tremendous job of removing Prince Harry from his family, removing Prince Harry from his royal duty, which is essentially his purpose, removing Prince Harry from his country, so his native lands, and now they live in LA for her career. Divorce will be soon, and removal of his son from him. Think about that. This is the most toxic bitch that's being fucking promoted in the media right now. If you guys want to see essentially what feminine does to women and like the poster child of just toxic feminism and just a toxic human being, a toxic woman, it is this Meghan Markle woman. Exactly what she's done to this guy. And Prince Harry, little fucking cuck boy over here. Yes, ma'am. I'll just follow her along. Stuff because that's what good boys do, right? Well, guess what? Her pussy's fucking dried up. She hates the guy, and she's essentially trying to fucking get him and isolate him away so she can steal his shit, right? And then kick him to the fucking curb. So, anyway, apparently this pissed somebody off. A blue check mark. Oh, that's hilarious, you fucking douche. This blue check mark, Sarah Rappaport, who is she's an executive producer, Leaders with Lacroix at Bloomberg TV, and journalist, producer, screenwriter, blue check mark on, what's it called, by the way, on Twitter. From North London via Chicago, or is in North London via Chicago. Very nice. Good stuff, Sarah Rappaport. She responds, he's a grown man who has made his own choices. She's not in charge of him. And there's much more important things to think about than where two people you don't know live. And I just had to retort because it was fucking would sit here pretty much telling me to mind my own business and there's more important things going on. She doesn't follow me. We're not friends on fucking Twitter. She found this and then fucking decided to stick her fucking big, stupid feminist nose into something and then make herself look like a fucking complete idiot. So I just wondered, if there are more important things to think about, why did you leave such a snide and emotionally charged comment? And then I had to dig it a little deeper. You blue check marks are the biggest hypocrites. Plain and simple. It's absolutely hilarious. Like, how are you going to write a fucking comment to someone telling them to mind their own business? And then you've come to my fucking Twitter and then you had to make a comment telling me to mind my own business. It's like, this is how these fucking people think. This is how these people think. It's like, I am so above thee that I can tell you not to do something while doing exactly what I tell you not to do. That's how these people think. And it goes back to exactly what I'm talking about with these fucking social idiots. They're sitting crying about tyranny and wanting safety and protection. Meanwhile, they're stealing your rights away from you at the fucking stroke of a pen at fucking record pacing fucking rates right now. That's how these people think. It's what they've been conditioned to do. Safety is a fucking illusion. It's an illusion. Because you have no control over what's going to happen. You can't have a plan for every single instance that could possibly happen every second of the day. And that's what these people are. They are fucking scared little sheep that have pretty much just isolated themselves into a fucking group. And the crazy part that's happening right now, I don't know if you guys are seeing this. They're releasing convicts from fucking jail. They're releasing murderers. They're reducing fucking, they're saying cops aren't going to respond to these types of crimes and all this other shit. Ooh, they're just releasing the wolves into the fucking sheep's pen. And then what's going to happen? Fucking social decay. It's absolutely crazy. And then the next thing you know, and I hate to get all fucking conspiratorial here, but it's problem. What is it? Is it problem action? No, it's problem. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Problem action solution. I don't fucking recall. I think that's right. Let me Google it just so I fucking feel smart. Problem reaction solution. Problem reaction solution. Like, this is what these people don't understand is what's being done to them. Every step of the way. Oh, we've created this problem. The sheep react. And then, let's usher in this solution. And the problem is, every time the solution comes up, it's just another way to fucking destroy people's sovereignty, destroy people's autonomy, destroy people's freedoms, destroy people's fucking rights. It's like, how do people not recognize this? We went through fucking goddamn 9/11. We saw what happened after that. The Patriot Act, wiretapping on fucking America. Hey, we're not going to spy on American citizens. We would never do something like that. Need I remind you, fucking Snowden? Need I remind you, fucking Assange? Fucking Manning? I'm not going to say his name. His Bradley Manning. There we go. Bradley Manning. It's absolute absurdity. It's funny how they use these euphemisms too. The left is really, really good at doing this. They're good at using these euphemisms to hide their true objective. Quarantine, right? Ooh, so it's social distance and shelter in place. Because they don't want to tell you exactly what this shit is. It's a fucking quarantine. Next thing you know, what's an internment camp going to be? Oh, a health center. I want to make sure that you're getting all the resources you need and the care you need. Oh, and the injections. The injections, education, education here. Continued education. Okay. Whatever you say. All right, let's do it. Fucking sign me up. Oh, you want to load me up onto that fucking boxcar over there? All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Fucking idiots, dude. Seriously. And people are truly scared. They're scared because they want to be scared. And they're scared because they're addicted to being scared. Honestly. Like, I had a girl come over the other day. This was last Wednesday, I believe. And this girl was freaked out. She's like freaked out to be near me or to touch me or anything like that. I was like, all right, you got to go. It's like you're freaked out by this invisible little thing that you can't control. So now everything is suspect. It's fucking with people's minds, man. It's the perfect little bug right now. It's a perfect little bug, perfect little virus to put in people's fucking minds. Get everybody scared of one another. Oh, they probably got it. Let's isolate them. Let's quarantine them. Look what's happening in fucking Rhode Island. I don't know if you guys see and heard what's going on in Rhode Island, but we're just going to go door to door and start checking to see if you're from New York. And then we're just going to tell you, you need to be on a 14-day quarantine. Stay here, but you got to stay in here for 14 days. It's like, can't you just use the news media to announce that? Hey, if you're from New York, stay inside for 14 days. That's what we're recommending. Oh, no, but we got to go door to door with our police force and our fucking National Guard with guns to tell you to stay inside for 14 days. That makes a lot of sense, too. Because what if they are from New York and what if they have it? Now you're exposing this person, those people, and then they're going to go door to door having close quarter contact with these people. Sounds very fucking stupid to me. That's not a fucking smart plan to stop the spread of stuff. Oh, and guess who the governor is of that state that supports all this stuff? A female Democrat. Let's draw the parallels between all that shit. There was a really awesome, you guys should go check out this article. It's from Zero Hedge. I'm hoping I could, please, I probably fucking deleted it. Damn it, I did delete it. Well, I'm going to have to scroll. Scroll. I'm going to be doing this a bit today too, guys. I'm going to be reading some stuff off my phone once we get on topic. So yeah, don't mind me. I got some good stuff for you today, though. I'm pretty fucking excited. All right, the Zero Hedge article is called The Great Madness from Zero Hedge, I believe is what it is. Yep, that's exactly what it is. And I'll read an excerpt from it now because it's pretty fucking hilarious as far as what the author has deduced. Fucking probably some of the most red pill based shit. Here we go. Probably the most salient aspect to this panic is the role of women. As has been noted too many times to count, the West is now a gynocracy. It is not a matriarchy, as women have stopped bearing children and stopped caring about children. Look around and you see childless women in positions of authority all over the West. In fact, these are women who their status by rejecting every aspect of womanhood. The West is now a world run by middle-aged, childless women. Anyone who's been around women in a crisis has observed a strange phenomenon among childless adult females. Some switch gets flipped in a crisis where their protective instincts get misdirected at the adults in the room. This part of their nature was never allowed to mature in the raising of children, so it comes bursting forth in an incoherent desire to help when their help is not needed. They become like mother ducks loudly herding the brood to safety. For a society run by such women, every crisis is met with a demand that everyone shelter in place. Notice how over the last decades that public officials no longer call for voters, tell people to pitch in and work together. Such independent action violates the frightening sense of duty to her. Instead, mild weather events now close the schools and force people to work from home. The virus scare is every middle-aged woman's Hunger Games moment. Think about that. It's funny because I've also heard some other stuff too about people like Angela Merkel, right? So Angela Merkel is the, I don't know, whatever because essentially the president of Germany, right? Destroyed the country. Motherless, has chased climbing the power structures and power dynamics. Feminist, obviously. Absolute wildebeest too to look at, if we're going to be fucking frank. Trump plays her like a fiddle, which is hilarious. But it's funny because there's some talk about how the way that she runs the country is like she tries to mother the country because a lot of her misdirected energy of never bearing children is applied to running a country. And this is why she's allowed for all these people that are not part of the culture to come in and start to wreak havoc on the system and on her citizens. And in her mind, it's like, oh, well, they just need some adjustment. They just need some adjustment period. They just need some more resources thrown at them and they'll learn to behave. They just need, they just need some time to adapt. Or maybe what we need to do as people is we need to just accept them and welcome them in the fold, because this hatred and this phobia against them is pushing them to violence. And it's like, no. That's not at all what any of this stuff is. It's just you're bringing bad people that don't share the same cultural beliefs as you into your fucking country. And you're using this fucking narcissistic motherly tendency to believe that your kids, your children, are the best and they're only good. They're only light and love. They're just light and love, and they just need love thrown at them. But no, it's not true. Reality is reality. Your little hopes and dreams of, I wish the world would be this way, it's not fucking happening. And that's why, exactly like what's talked about in that Gynocentrism, you think would be better rulers because, they don't have tendencies towards violence. Yet studies show that, believe it or not, number one, couple far more domestic violence cases and domestic abuse cases than any other pairing of genders. They've also shown that actually 52%, I believe it's like just right around the 50-50 mark, domestic violence is instigated by either one of the genders when in a, a heterosexual relationship, which means, let's say 50 to 52% of the time, let's keep it right at 50, just to keep it fair. 50% of the time, women are instigating physical fights in their household. They did a study on women as well, that mothers slap their children over 300 times before the age of 2 years old. But yet, they're considered to not be violent and not have any violent tendencies. And they have, they're far more empathetic. Remember this too, guys. Empathy is number one in the gynocracy. That's why masculinity is bad. We don't have empathy. Women, and this is the reason why women should never be in positions of authority or power. Women are more tyrannical than men. They don't understand freedom. They don't understand allowing people to make mistakes. They don't understand opening up the world for people to create their own being. And that also incorporates being able to make mistakes. A freer society is much more better than someone trying to control every single outcome. And essentially, that's what women do. Whenever a woman comes into power, she turns into a micromanager. She turns into a dictator, an authoritarian, and a tyrant. The thing is, too, another thing that plays into that is, and I noticed this while in the military, when a woman would get a position of authority, she would try to act like a man. And every time she tried to act like a man, she would go over and beyond with her authority. Because in a woman's mind, that's what they think men do. So they try to go to this extreme version of masculinity. Now, there's a phrase out there: the only form of toxic masculinity in the world today is a woman trying to be a man. And that's I think that's absolutely 100% true. 100% true. Gents, we do live in a world of a gynocracy right now. It is fully happened. And I talk about this quite a bit because I believe that's what the war really is. Some people will say, we're in a gender war. We're in this. I believe it or not, We can call it the Matrix just to kind of give it a fucking codified word, right? The blue pill. The blue pill, as I women are superior, are lower on the social hierarchy. It's essentially the same thing as a gynocracy. We have lived in a gynocracy for, I personally think, for a couple thousand years. I truly believe that, for a couple thousand years. But I think it's become more and more prevalent, at least in the last 100 years in the West, at least. If you don't believe that, look at the amount of rights that women are afforded in the court system. Look at the amount of prison times women get in comparison to men. Look at how women are propped up and taught in schools today. Women are better than men. Men, you need to step down. You need to turn it over to women. Everything is about feminism right now. Every commercial out there treats men as though they are aloof, goofy, socially inept, incapable of maintaining relationships. Meanwhile, the woman is the strong role model and figure with her snooty, snide characteristics and her I'm better than everybody kind of fucking attitude. Look at me. I can do it all. I got to take care of this man and the house, and I'm a boss babe, and I fucking fold and cook and clean and do all this other shit. Bullshit. There's no fucking woman out there. I shouldn't say there's no woman out there, but it's like 0.01%, maybe. Women are smarter than men. Look at the amount of women that are in college. Yeah, well, if affirmative action and this type of fucking, if grants, if the state didn't back all this stuff, if elementary schools didn't sit there and push all this agenda the entire time and tell men to prop women up, that's all it comes down to. The house of cards. It's just been a means. It's been a way to subvert people's minds to prop women up onto the throne. That's really all it is. We've propped women up onto the throne. And then she sits there from the throne and she says, I got here all by myself. I'm strong and independent. Look at how strong women are. Strong woman, strong woman, strong woman. It's like, no, you don't realize that every step of the way, there was a man holding your hand through the gauntlet. And that's what separates men from women. Men don't have anyone holding their hand. And that's what's been different over the last 70 to 80 to 90 to 100 years, is that there's been nobody holding men's hands, the mass majority, I should say, of men, to get to where they've gotten. It's why this society currently must fall. Scratch that. It's why this society will fall. This idea that you can prop somebody up to a position without them learning the lessons along the way is inauthentic. It is not true. It is a scam. And that's essentially what's happened to all of us. And this is why the red pill is a must. Because red pill people, red pill men, see through the scam. They see it all. And they know something's not right. It doesn't mean, and obviously this is why the red pill is called the red pill. Obviously, it's breaking through the matrix. It's seeing and going down the rabbit hole like fucking Morpheus tells Neo and in the movie. But the red pill is hard to swallow, guys. It really is. It's very, very sad as well. There's levels of depression that come along with it. There's levels of rage. There's levels of fear. There's guilt. There's shame. It's going through the darkness. It's going through the abyss, honestly. It's why I've seen many men up to this point who have come to me for coaching, have come into the WarTribe as well, and belong to a group of men that are pushing harder and harder through the facade, the lies, the scam. It's why there's men that quit. Not every initiation is meant for everyone to pass it. As a matter of fact, that's the point of an initiation. It's to weed out the weak. Not all people survive. Not all people pass on the first try. That's what's necessary. It sucks to say, but at this point in time, we realize that there's a change that's occurring. There's a transformation that's occurring. The sexual marketplace was currently out of whack, 100% inflated. Communism took over the social marketplace, propped women up, opened hypergamy up as well. Even the marketplace itself, the economy, based on debt, fiat currency, to the point now we're starting to see the holes placed in that economy. Our power structures, every bit along the way, has been subverted in order to push an agenda that isn't true and does not align with human nature or the truth. And I do believe, even though we're going to go through a bit of a fucking trial here shortly, that in the long run, in the end, things will be restored, balance will be restored, and we will create a better civilization from the ashes of this one. And the best part of it all, believe it or not, is that it's going to be a global phenomenon. It is not just going to be isolated to one country. This is going to be a global phenomenon by which every culture from here on out is at least going to understand the base level truths of the red pill. How they formulate their culture after that is up to them. Because I myself could probably be considered a nationalist if you really break down my belief system. I believe in having borders and boundaries around my culture. I believe in having a strong military and military-minded men that defend my culture from any other culture outside that would come in and try to ruin my culture. And I hope in the future as well that other cultures would also follow suit. And then that would create a mutual style of respect that says, hey, listen, if you don't fuck with me, I'm not going to fuck with you. You go over there and you cook your fucking chow mein and your fried rice or whatever the fuck and your Szechuan sauce and all that other stuff. That's fine. You do you. Create your own fucking economy, create your own market, create your own culture, trade within one another, do whatever you got to do. But we're going to be over here. We're going to be rocking and rolling our way, doing it our way, without fucking stepping on other people's dicks, stepping on other people's toes, fixing our own shit first. No more of this fucking globalized species bullshit. No, that's not possible. It's a retarded notion. And I use the word retarded in the sense of like, let's call it the actual scientific notion of what it means to go backwards. Because trying to create a globalized culture, a globalized species, pushes humanity back. I talk about this in my book. Rule number 1 for human beings is to survive. Rule number 2 is to procreate. Rule number 3 is to evolve. And believe it or not, rule number 4 is to adventure or spread. Now, with that said, now that we know the rules, we can start to play the game by the rules. With the current idea of doing a globalized citizenry, like I said, we retard ourselves back. We do not evolve. We devolve. Why is that? Because if we now have to compete on a global marketplace, Pareto principle, all that other stuff, it's not going to, it can't work. It cannot work, plain and simple. You can't apply one set of standards across the board to an entire race of people. Because with evolution, like I said, and this is essentially why there's different, I hate to use the term race because the race is the wrong word to say it. We belong to the human race, right? The human species, but let's use race in the term that how it's been kind of ascribed, right? So ethnicities, let's say. Those are all epigenetic evolutions for adapting to certain environments. if you try to create an entire species to become homogenous, there's always going to be differences in culture. There has to be, because culture is localized to the environment. The environment has a lot of impact on how a culture is created. Think about that, right? I talk about this in my book, A Patriarch's Vision, Purging Feminism, my new book. Spices and foods, the types of foods that are around, the type of vegetation that grows, the climate, right? How hot it is, how much sun is beating down on you, how dry it is, even how much snow. It's crazy. These things, as we continue to evolve, pathways in our genome that create our genetics to express itself in different ways to better adapt and survive in that environment. So now there's this belief for some fucking reason that we could all be equal and we could all be the same. Unfortunately, it's not a rule of nature. I talk about it in my book. I'd say it's just like taking a polar bear and putting it in fucking Arizona and telling it to survive. It's like that polar bear is not going to bode well. But that's what we keep doing. That's what we keep doing to other people. Hey, come over to this climate and adapt to it. It's like, genetically, epigenetically, I have not evolved for this location. So what's going to be my retort? I'm going to try to make it change to the way that I've evolved. And that just creates chaos. It's silly. People got to learn that their little pipe dream of having this one globalized unity of peace and love is never going to happen. Energy as well. Like I said, I started this channel knowing full well, because of this law of the universe, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. What does that mean? Well, that means all right, how we looking right now, guys? We still running? Am I back? All right, comment section. I need you guys real quick. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Excuse me. All right, yeah, I'm back. All right, you good. Good stuff. All right, I see it now. Going back to what I was saying, essentially, we'll never be Unitarian. The best thing is to break down to nationalism in a way. Obviously have some level of connection via the internet, talk about red pill truths, make sure that that's kind of incorporated. And if there's people that are trying culture, that are trying to reestablish the blue pill stuff, argue, and remove. Right? So anyway, that's where I'm at with that. I did not expect to go off on that tangent today whatsoever. But it fucking came from the goddamn soul and it felt fucking amazing. So, oh yeah, that's why I do what I do. Anyway, I really do want to get on topic right now. I want to talk about the cultivation of the warrior. But before I do so, I'm going to sift through all the comments that have gone on so far today. Holy crap, there's quite a bit. First and foremost, Ben in the house, Matt, I'm the 9, Shadow, Griffin, Daniel, Red Crusader, Thor, JJ the Terrible. I think I already said Griffin. John Galt. Who else do we have in here? Game Warden. Nick Cotto. How we doing? How are we all doing, guys? Give me a fire emoji in the chat for the epic rant that I just went on, if you guys agree. And also, let's make sure we've hit that thumbs up, that like button for this, what's it called? So that YouTube can be alerted to take down my channel. I'm going to also join you in hitting the like button, as I have yet to do that. Oh, no. That's the wrong one. That is the wrong ones. Yes. All right. I'm enjoying these 22 likes that we have currently. Thank you for the fire. Very much good. All right. Let's stop that because all that good stuff. Say it's worth it instead of paying someone, Matt. All right, you guys are talking yourself. No worries. Excuse me on that one. Yes, perfect. That is perfect. They try to emulate masculinity, exactly, but they have no understanding of it. You'll see this and you'll notice this. Whenever men are going through their own type of struggles, they don't believe in it. They don't think men struggle at all. It is a misnomer. Feminism teaches women that men benefit from the patriarchy, so therefore they could never struggle. And again, it's a self-created dragon for them to slay. Oh, the patriarchy. It's in order for people to make fucking a bunch of money off of these silly people that are easily led, easily manipulated, and easily controlled. Is the Bible gynocentric? I believe the Bible, if it were not gynocentric, it would deliver things to you in a means to, like, it would deliver it to you as truth. That's the best way I could say it. It would say, here's what to do, here's how things should be. It would be a manual. But instead, it's written in parables so that you could apply emotion to it. And it's meant to affect people on an emotional level so that everyone, no matter what they're going through, they could empathize with it and think as though the voice is speaking to them. So yes, although there are some things in there that appear to be quite patriarchal and quite red pill, it is not. If you look at the overall essence of it, it is not. It's meant for control. It's meant for fear. It's a fear campaign. It's meant for shame and guilt. I would say anything that operates on the premise of creating fear and guilt and shame is ultimately gynocentric, because that is the tool of women. The other part about the Bible is it tries to control men's sexual imperatives, which is another tool of the gynocracy. And of course, there's going to be a shit ton of people that come in here. Corey, no, you're wrong. The Bible's red pill. The Bible's all this stuff. It's like, you guys need to search deeper. You need to search deeper as to why you want the Bible to be red pill. And it's because it's just like these tradcons. These tradcons today that are in love with the what's it called? in love with the government, in love with the patriots. Oh, we love the police. Why do you love the police? If they're about to start coming door to door and fucking taking your guns away or telling you to fucking self-quarantine and stuff, why do you love the police? Why? Why do you love that authority? You got to learn to be a cynic. You got to learn to separate your emotion from this stuff that you've been told and raised to believe. Oh, this is the way you believe as a conservative. It's like, no, that's a trap. Conservatives are no better than liberals, honestly. No better when it comes to their brainwashing. It's the same thing that happens with Bible thumpers, Bible thumpers. Unfortunately, you have to learn to read through this stuff. You just got to learn to be free. And I know it's difficult and I know it's scary. People want to be led. That's a natural part of our hierarchy. People want to be led. They want to believe in this ultimate ideal of this fucking deity that's leading them and can absolve them of all their sins and all their wrongdoing. It doesn't exist. We got Thor here in the chat. One of his greatest quotes that he says, this is what his dad used to tell him. He said, if you're looking for someone to give you a helping hand, look at the end of your wrist. It's essentially, I'm paraphrasing. Hopefully he'll type it in. You looking to be saved? You looking for somebody to give you a handout? Look at the end of your wrist. Excuse me. I love this. Yes, 100%. That's exactly what Christianity was here for, was for industrialization. It was in order to turn you into worker bees, in order to create the civilization. It all had its time. Everything has its reason as to why it was created and implemented. And now that we've reached that point, we are now evolved, and we're going to evolve beyond religion. It's in the book. Fucking people, read the goddamn book. Buy the book, read the book, leave a fucking review. Can't keep saying it. Stay strong, men, Vikings, hold the shield wall. Yes. All right. All right, let's scroll all the way down, see where we're at. All right, good stuff. Cynic. Now there's another good hand or good band. Yeah. My dad used to tell me the same thing. Good. Yeah, exactly. Good stuff. Yeah, exactly. When you go against what you were taught, you get called a conspiracy theorist. Exactly. Odin said, when I was down and looking for a helping hand, he said, I have given you a helping hand. I cried, where is that helping hand? He said, LOL, no further than the end of your wrist, son. I love it. Why does the Bible hate non-reproductive? Doesn't breed new acolytes. 100%. It's part of the taxation beast. It's part of building up your own army of believers. Reason why don't they believe? Well, they realize that, I mean, especially right now, look at this, like Christians are Muslims. Muslims are having fucking 8 kids to the 1 or 2 that Christians are having today, when it used to be the inverse, sort of, right? Catholics, I mean, look at Mexicans. They'll pop out fucking the Irish as well, right? Irish twins. You've ever heard that phrase? They used to have fucking they'd have fucking litters. Goddamn, right? Anyway, that's all it comes down to. More believers, more people to push the fucking agenda, and more money in their coffers. Oh, all right. Let's get on topic today. We are talking about cultivating the warrior. What is the warrior? Well, first, that little beast real quick. I'm going to share with you guys this. Obviously, there's a lot to it. So we're going to get going. And I got some stuff that I want to read to you as well. I'm in the reading mood today. I'm in teacher mode, I believe. Teaching you sillies. First and foremost, the warrior is an archetype. What is an archetype? Well, it's essentially I hate to use the term code, but it's a way to codify like a certain characteristic set, kind of like how we use the term alpha. But if you follow like a Jungian style, even psychology, you'll understand that these archetypes are written deep within the code of our consciousness or our genetics. We understand these things. The four archetypes of a mature man, the warrior, as per the book, warrior, what is it? Warrior or king, warrior, magician, lover. If you guys haven't read this book, I highly recommend you take a look at it. Let's get into it. Every great civilization has a great warrior tradition and accompanying warrior myths. The Old Testament recounts the stories of warrior people and a warrior of God. In ancient Mediterranean, the Spartans had perhaps the most legendary warrior tradition. From birth, Spartan society nurtured and trained their boys to become warriors. Japan had their fearless samurais, whose undaunted courage came from living life as they were. As to take note of what I just harped on there. We've generally taught boys and men to avoid confrontation and conflict, and instead nurture their feminine side. The result is the nice guy, the man who will avoid confrontation and aggression, even when confrontation and aggression are justified. By the way, this is from Art of Manliness. If you want to check out this, this article. Society pushes men to be sweet and sensitive because they fear them becoming coldly stoic, abusive, and destructively angry. But society's perception of the warrior archetype is not based on the warrior energy and used in harmony with the other masculine archetypes, directed by empathy, contemplation, and order. We're overly empathetic, so I don't necessarily agree with that one. Fighting itself is not bad. The question is simply, what is a man fighting for? The warrior's energy is needed not only in times of war, but on all battlefields of life. Properly tapping into the warrior's energy provides a man with an unsurpassable power source, which fuel him to reach his goals, fight for worthy causes, achieve greatness, and leave a lasting legacy. The warrior in his fullness, Moore says the characteristics of the warrior in his fullness amount to a total way of life. What the samurai called a do, pronounced do. These characteristics constitute the warrior dharma, mat, or Tao, a spiritual or psychological path through life. What are these characteristics? Let's take a look. Aggressiveness, characterized by or tending toward unprovoked offenses, attacks, or the like. Militantly forward, I should say. Making an all-out effort to win or succeed, competitive, vigorously energetic, especially in the use of initiative and forcefulness. I'm going to scroll down a little bit too. A man who does not harness his aggression at all picks a fight with everyone and about everything. His relationships fail and he is stunted in his professional development or personal development. The man who reins in his aggression too much becomes a stereotypical weenie, nice guy. Proper aggression turns into passive aggression. He's too polite to go after what he wants. He's seething inside because of it. A man has successfully integrated the warrior type, or who has successfully integrated the warrior archetype, harnesses his aggression as the force that pushes him to compete or to compete, to be the best, and moves him ever forward towards his goals. Purpose. Mindful, adaptable, minimalist, decisive, skillful, loyal, disciplined, emotionally detached, creative destroyer. Now, I want to talk about this one specifically. The warrior is the archetype of destruction. However, the warrior in his fullness only destroys in order to make room for something new and fresh and more alive. Gentlemen, this is why I've created the WarTribe. This is why everything I've done up to this point preaches everything that I'm preaching about. And I hate to use the fucking term preach. Sorry about that. Actually, I'm not sorry. It's necessitous. But I just saw some fucking idiot online who's calling himself a prophet, and it made me want to punch him in his stupid face. Anyway, so I wanted to separate myself from that term, but essentially what I'm doing is preaching. Understand this. Make room for something new and fresh and more alive. This is what happens, and I'm about to get in this by reading some of the stuff of the book that I'm reading now, The Spiritual Practices of the Ninja. This is what happens when you do not initiate boys into manhood through a ritualistic death and introducing the boy to death. What happens when you remove introducing boys to death? They don't understand that death is a fucking tool. I got into it a little bit with John Fitch on my podcast yesterday, talking about where we've gone wrong in our society today, because what's happened is we've created generations of boys through religion that has tried to teach men to remove these characteristics from themselves by thinking that society is about building up the most moral and ethical of beings. And the problem with that is when you do something along those lines and you don't initiate boys into manhood via some form of death, you teach people to look at death as evil. And the thing is with death, as we look around us and we look at the circle of life and we look at nature, death is 50% of the equation. And that's where the imbalance has gone in today's world. As you can see, we're overpopulating and there's not enough death going on. We as a species are no longer comfortable with death, especially here in the West. And our boys specifically have not been initiated into manhood to understand that death is a tool. What happens when things die? What happens when you kill that elk? If it's done and sourced properly in a, let's say, ethical way at that point in time, that death of that animal is now having the ability to feed you and your family, nurturing you and nourishing you with its nutrients, with its hide, with its bones, the trophy of its antlers, the ability to make tools, and the skill set to be able to provide for your family, provide for yourself, provide for life, to continue life. The blood of that animal soak into the grass at that point in time and provide nutrients to the soil. Animals decompose every single day. Things decompose in order to create new life. Microbiomes thrive off of these things in order to create more and more life. This is the circle of life. Through death comes new things. But because we have not had a warrior culture in at least the last 60 to 70, 80 years, we don't understand these things. We shy away from it. We think that death is the most evil thing on the planet. It's why we now have such a fucking dull society that believes in things like vegetarianism and veganism as the most ethical thing out there. And they deny the reality of nature. Because as they want to show the world, I am ethical because I do not kill. I do not harm. And the reality is, with embodying the archetype of the warrior, you understand when, how, and why violence, aggression, death are all necessitous. You understand that. Looking at this little deal right here, shadow also applies to the warrior archetype, and that's what we're seeing in today's world. We are seeing the negatives on each side, right? Well, the coward in that so far. Let's talk about the shadows really quickly, and then I want to move on to some new things. The sadist is the shadow side. As just discussed, men in touch with the warrior archetype have the ability to detach themselves from emotions with human relationships. While detachment provides a man with much needed focus on important tasks, when it becomes a man's permanent state, the sadist shadow controls the man's psyche. This is why soldiers who have a mission-minded attitude while in deployment can find it very difficult to adjust to life back home and find their place in their families, which are based on emotional needs and been used to setting aside. The mission-focused life freed him from human pettiness, and returning to it can be grating. This is also true of lawyers, ministers, doctors, politicians, and other men who may be married to their job. Shifting from mission mode to domestic mode can be difficult for them. As the name implies, the sadist can be cruel, even to those most vulnerable. He disdains the weak. A commanding officer in the army may try rigidly to run his family in the sea, or he led his troops. Unattainably high standards for himself and those around him. When a child comes home with a less than perfect grade, a father influenced by the sadist will put her down and berate her mercilessly. A man with a positive warrior energy would have kindly shown disappointment to help his son or daughter study the next exam. The sadists discuss that weakness is linked to the boyhood hero archetype. The hero tries to break away from his mother and feminine energy in general and asks to become his own man. But adult men who are still insecure about being man enough project this insecurity onto others. He hates what he fears within himself. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, the masochist, we're not going to go too far into that one. Obviously, we understand that. Masochist, a man possessed with masochism or masochist feels he is powerless. He's a pushover, and they end up going too far over. What's it called? How to access the warrior archetype. Watch movies. Here's some good ones. I just actually watched Patton the other day for the first time in my life. It was pretty cool. Read biographies about great warriors. Take up a martial art. Do something that scares you. Work on becoming more decisive. Meditate, especially on, check this shit out. All stuff that I've been fucking telling you guys to do along the first time ever reading this article. I promise you this. Quit shouldering on yourself. No, shoulding. Quit shoulding on yourself. I get that. The warrior is able to detach himself from the options and opinions of others in order to carry out his mission. Find your core values. Have a plan and purpose for your life. Boost your adaptability by strengthening your resilience. Study and practice the skills necessary for completing your goals. Find the principles that you're loyal to. Establish some non-negotiable, unalterable terms to live by. Everything that I preach to my war tribe guys, honestly. Complete a race like the Warrior Dash. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's a good one. Strengthen your discipline by establishing habits and daily routines. I tell people this. Adopt a minimalist philosophy. Declutter your life. Simplify your diet. Get out of debt. Perfect. Gentlemen, this needs to be your mission, especially while in this quarantine. I would be doing everything in my power at this moment to embody the archetype of the warrior and to initiate yourself into warriorhood somehow, some way. Like I said, that article, let me just post that in the chat because this is a quick guide for you to be able to look at and begin to implement and remind yourself, this is the shit that I should be doing. This is the shit that I should be doing right now. Okay. There's also a tremendous video on YouTube. If you guys want to check out, it's 12 minutes long. I'm not going to play it due to copyright stuff, but here's a good video on YouTube. If you want to go and watch some stuff that shows you the archetype of the warrior, just to give you some motivation, that article and that video are two amazing tools for you to get there. Okay. Now, there's something I want to read you guys in this book that I'm reading currently. Although I'm a little bit disappointed in the author for some of his blue pill beliefs, when it comes to understanding the ninja, this guy is pretty dope, though. Excuse me. Oh, you cocksucker. All there, and then Yeah, this is a good one. All right. Bear with me because it's going to go in a little bit of a roundabout, but this is where I want to start off with. All right. So this is from the book, The Spiritual Practices of the Ninja. The word ninjutsu, the way of the ninja, is often translated as the art of or the art of invisibility. The word implies two things. First, the use of stealth to uncover the hidden self so we can discover our inner truth and know what our real purpose is. Second, the skill of remaining true to ourselves, but blending so effectively with the prevailing ways of society that we remain almost unseen, leaving no footprints in the sand while still achieving our purposes. Pretty good. If we really want to sum up the art of the ninja, therefore, we could say that is simply what works, taken from wherever, and that it relies on two fundamentals: know what you want and know how to get it. What it amounted to first and foremost, as far as becoming what it amounted to first and foremost was to know yourself. One of the greatest philosophers out there says, know thyself. If you guys can tell me which philosopher said that, I'll give you a fucking hug, a corona hug from social distancing distance. Find and face your fears so you can find and live your power. Find your own vision for life and know the reason for your suffering so you can follow through on your destiny. This is known as inner work, initiatory work. And if it meant walking through the fire, hanging from a cliff in order to conquer fear and master the self, then so be it. The first requirement of a spiritual warrior was and is to live an authentic life. Why? Because half-guided fantasies, half-realized dreams, and half actions taken will ensure a life only half lived and potentially never realized. The ninja outlook is a physical, emotional, and self-protection from the dangers that front those on the warrior path of enlightenment. That's pretty good to know, but not really relevant to what I'm talking about here. Yes, there is no actor but the action. There is no experiencer but the experience. Experience, I was thinking about this earlier today. I believe that experience is the greatest teacher in the world today. I could care less about your fucking doctorate. I could care less about your fucking title. What I care to know is how authentic are you? How on your purpose are you? And how much experience do you have in dealing with this stuff? There's no higher power than the actualized human being who is in the meeting place of the material and the divine. This essentially is what spirituality is becoming a self-actualized human being, knowing that you are the arbiter of your destiny. Now, getting into our initiation. Initiation, rites of passage are 100% necessary. We're missing out on this in our society today, by the way. But I want you to understand this. So these four, courage, power, and clarity, and zest, are the four gates of freedom that are well known to the ninja from their own initiations. They're walking on fire. They're hanging from cliffs. And once these initiates passed through them, they became transformed and better able to take control of their lives. It's said that without initiation and practice, we cannot access these elemental and archetypal energies. And so they remain uncontrolled, unused, and unnoticed. They can even work against us, which is the real problem we face. It is only when we draw them into consciousness that they become our allies. So hungry are we for initiatory rites in the modern world that offers us so few of them that we are inclined to make up our own rituals. There are some pseudo rituals of our culture, such as the violence and humiliation of initiations into college and fraternities or street gangs. If we have no rituals to guide us, we can find ourselves lost and without ethics, unsure of what to do apart from trying to steal the power of others. One of the things our Western upbringing has taught us to do well. Many have been so concerned with their own dramas and unresolved issues that they've created a life of power games and misery for their children instead, if for no other reason than to stop feeling so powerless and alone themselves. A sort of comfort in numbers and misery, also known as crabs in a bucket. We have become adults who do not know who we are. In some ways, we are still children, looking for answers from keepers who do not exist, who do not know how to meet our needs. At times, we don't even know what these needs are or how to live in a correct and fulfilling way. Increasingly, our world is one of children with no real adult role models. Our education focuses on what is meant to be an expert or a functionary, doctor, electrician, or engineer, and not a human being. Insane. For those of you guys that are looking to get more into the archetype of the warrior, which is essentially my understanding of what the biggest flaw is within our society today, do please listen or read that article. Go to that video that I put in there. It's a nice short YouTube video that'll kind of get you motivated about the archetype of the warrior. And check out this book that I just talked about, The Spiritual Practices of the Warrior. I forgot the name of the author. Heaven, I believe. Actually, that's exactly his name, Ross Heaven. He's dead though. But check that stuff out. I cannot. Yeah, Five Rings by Musashi. I actually have that sitting right over there on my the Book of Five Rings is what it's called. I have that sitting on my what's it called over there, my dresser. Nice. Yeah, this is a really, really good book. Until he starts talking about some gender stuff, he's obviously very much into like trying to turn women into ninjas. And honestly, I'm going to be real with you guys. I don't think that women need to embody the archetype of the warrior. I think there's some archetypes that are just strictly masculine. Can women be warriors in some semblance of a feminine aspect? Absolutely. But the problem right now is that we have been promoting the warrior archetype to women and masculinizing women through that archetype, and it just does not work out. We need to reinforce feminine archetypes for the feminine and masculine archetypes for the masculine. What was it called again? What are you asking me? The book that I just said, The Spiritual Practices of the Ninja? Oh, it's in the chat. Check it out. Yep, I'm in the same boat. I went through boot camp, and believe it or not, I wish there was more hazing. The fact that they've removed hazing now from boot camp has really, really lessened the effectiveness of the men there. Because war doesn't give a fuck about your feelings. War cares about who's the strongest, who's the most disciplined, who has the most drive and determination. Everything that embodies the warrior archetype that I talked about today. And there's that. I would highly, highly recommend, gentlemen, at this point in time in your life, start to figure out a way to cultivate the archetype of the warrior into your life. There's a phrase and a saying out there. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Now, for those of you guys out there that aren't trained in combatives, that haven't been in the military and such, sure, you may be a little bit behind the power curve when it comes to that. But again, the warrior archetype is an archetype for a reason. You can embody it somehow, some way. You can start now. And I highly recommend you do. if not just to become a warrior to be able to attain your purpose in life. I'm going to scroll through real quick and check out some of these comments as well, as I've gone on quite a bit of tangents today, which I 100% think is awesome. Corey, your topic is excellent. Thank you very much. Very happy with this one. As you guys can tell, I'm definitely very passionate about this. Hell yeah. Good stuff. Part of discipline. Keep it going. Bushido's the shit. I love it. An ending is the beginning. Exactly. That's funny. Interesting you brought up veganism, which I think is a religion. A vegan tried to tell me soy doesn't raise estrogen in men. Yeah, it's hilarious. For a perspective on human population, all the current human population could fit inside Texas and each be on a third of an acre each, leaving the rest of the planet up to 10 billion. That's crazy. That's a lot of people in one little space like that, though. Estrogen raises estrogen. I like it. Exactly. Exactly. Know thyself for those of you guys out there. All right, guys. With that sex, you could be a very bright sparring buddy with Rolo. He doesn't want any of this. And I think he knows that. Oh man. Listen, I'm not throwing shade right now, guys. I'm just saying, just strictly speaking, that I'm trying not to come off sounding like a fucking cocky douche here, but I know my stuff. I've been doing this. I've been studying this my entire life. And not just studying it from the fucking sidelines, but throwing myself into the fire and testing my theories, joining the military, going to war, thinking that was going to be my initiation to manhood, and finding out that it wasn't. Going through these spiritual initiations and initiatory passages and finding out that was the way. That's how it should have started off. Realizing and integrating the warrior archetype, having the full balance of masculinity, reading these books like Iron John, King Warrior Magician Lover. I mean, really, really getting deep into all of this stuff. And then being able to come out of it with creating my own understanding and my own philosophy. And believe it or not, my own structure for how I believe civilization should fucking continue after this, which I think is even deeper than all of this is concerned. And now, essentially, for those of you guys that don't know what I'm trying to do, it's trying to create a wellness center. It's trying to create a space where we men can all get together, live together, and create while being mentored and guided in all those areas of the archetype of the warrior. So that's what I'm trying to do. I haven't really talked about it too much, other than with some guys in the WarTribe. But that's what I'm trying to create, is a self-sustaining environment where we raise people up and teach people how to essentially homestead, farm via greenhouse, affect our impact, have good food, train and fight daily, train warriors, train men to be men, teach them about the red pill and red pill philosophies, have debate and discussion again as our way and our means of, and rhetoric, obviously storytelling, speaking, debate as our means of discussing how and what direction to go. And then obviously having our women as feminine as possible as well, raising up good children, good healthy stock of kids. Yeah, that's essentially what it comes down to. So that's what I'm trying to create. I'm trying to figure out a way to. It's my whole reason of wanting to become rich. Honestly, I'm trying to get a whole bunch of money, so that I could buy this land and set it up. And yeah, it's going to be a lot different than Elliot's boot camp. It's not just going to be on lifting. It's going to be on a whole. I hate to use the term holistic, but a whole style, a fully encompassed community. How to live it, how to set it up, how to create it in your life every single day. Shooting, whether it be archery or guns, surviving as far as butchering, livestock, how to grow some things, how to set up aquaponics, like red pill stuff as well. Not just aquaponics, but hydroponics. It'd be fucking epic. Anyway. Troy, 2 wheels only. Love it. Glad to see you are rejoined. I don't know what happened. I saw that you resubscribed. I don't know if you got booted, if fucking YouTube booted you by accident, if they booted you. Anyway, we actually don't know who originally said know thyself. It was a motto over the entrance of the temple of Delphi that Socrates later expounded upon. Correct. But the fact that he knew that Socrates was related to it, I give him credit, because Socrates is the man. Yeah, stupid YouTube. That's been going on lately. Anyway, with that said, guys, I need to eat. I also need to urinate. And I need to carry on with my life. I hope you guys today's episode. I feel like it came out a lot better than I was expecting. I wasn't sure how you guys would respond to me having this discussion, because it's a little bit ethereal, so to speak. But I am proud of what just came out of my head and out of my mouth hole. So please, guys, honestly, this is something that I believe is worthy of sharing. And I believe it's something that's a little bit light on the red pill, so to speak. But it's worthy of sharing to other men that need to kind of be guided and mentored along this way. So for sure. For those of you guys that are listening after the show, what I'd like to know is this. Let me know in the chat below or in the comment section below how you're currently embodying the warrior archetype, strengths as far as what are you doing as far as your discipline, maybe meditation. Are you using visualization to picture the ideal warrior? And what are some of the things that you're not so? What could you fix? What could you work on? Let me know in the comment section below as well. If you're watching this, if you guys are listening right now, please do let me know for sure. It's a little woo-woo, but it was good stuff, my dude. Thank you very much. I operate right on the cusp of being too woo-woo and also being too fucking based and grounded, I guess. So I'm happy to operate in that I guess spectrum. But anyway, like I said, comment section below where you embody the warrior archetype and where you all right. Said that's Overlord's letting me know that it's time for me to go. So until tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you guys. And adios.